Greetings and salutations. Welcome to Ref the District's QB1. Press your luck for the Washington Commanders as they search for the QB of their future, or at least for 2023. I'm Nathan. That's the Stoner. That's Trev. And we've got some strong thoughts here, even after Washington came out, or reports have come out that they're telling offensive coordinators that Sam Howell is going to be the guy. There have also been reports saying that that's mainly, hey, we want you to see what you can do with this guy, but we're still doing our due diligence. And that's what we're going to do here at Ref the District. Gents, you ready to get rolling with this? Press your luck.
All right, here we go. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Come on now, no whammies, and stop. All right.
Speaking of Sam Howell, we got the howling going on already. I feel like this is kind of fair. This is appropriate that we're going to be talking about Sam Howell after those reports came out that he was going to be QB1, which is a little different than what Ron said at the end of the season. But you take all that with a grain of salt. We're not going to discuss those thoughts particularly here right now. Let's talk about Sam Howell as QB1.
Okay.
All right. Stoner, you pressed the button.
Yep.
So I'm going to go to Trev to get his thoughts first.
Fair enough. Because I know whatever Trev says, I'm probably going to be the exact opposite.
Oh,
but
really?
You know, Trev, let's see.
Really?
Yeah.
What do I think about this? As quarterback one, do it.
Oh, I knew it.
Do it. I mean, do it. Here's an example number one: Brock Purdy. You never know; he could be our Brock Purdy. You draft him.
Example number two.
Hold on. What reason why Brock Purdy? Reason why Brock Purdy is they gave him weapons. He was drafted into a place that had weapons.
Yeah.
They're not asking him to go out there and be a world beater. Just get it to
Tyreek Hill and Waddle, definitely not weapons for Skylar Thompson out there in Miami.
Just saying, that's Skylar Thompson, though. I mean, I've never heard of him.
You
heard of Brock Purdy before the draft. You heard of him in college. You did. I don't even know where Skylar Thompson played ball. Where do you play ball? Exactly.
All right. Both Big 12 QBs.
All right. Anyways, I'm just saying that's prime example number one.
All right.
Because we have a similar team. We have a great defense. We have offensive weapons. Just come in there and have a quarterback that manages the game and get it to your playmakers in space. Good things can happen. Number two, you drafted in 5th round. If you didn't want a quarterback, you should have waited till 7th round or undrafted after that. If you didn't want to draft a quarterback, if you really didn't want to, but you got one in the 5th round. Okay, 5th round, and it's Sam Howell. Sam Howell was projected to be number 1 draft pick for 2 or 3 weeks during the summer. He was up there with the greats, like everybody else who was up there. But he fell down like Malik Willis. So we kind of lucked up on him in the 5th round. He comes in, wins the game, beats the Dallas Cowboys, who had something to play for, played against their starters. They didn't let up, played against Dak, played against their defense, came down, got the ball out in space to his playmakers. And what happened? We scored points. That was one of the highest scores games we had all season at 26 points, which is kind of sad to say, but hey, it's one of the highest. 2, he beat Dallas. His very first career start ever, you beat the Dallas Cowboys, your arch rival. You grew up liking him as a kid, then you get to beat him as your first game. It's not like it's a Cinderella story where he's on his couch, we signed him, he went to Green Bay, and Brett Favre's we drafted him in the 5th round.
At Taylor Heineke already?
Yeah. He was a stud in Carolina. He showed some promise in preseason. He came in and did what he had to do in the game and won the game. Why not go ahead and just start it off QB1? You got Terry McLaurin, you got Demi Brown, you got Curtis Samuel, you got Jahan Dotson. You can get a free agent tight end or draft one. You've got stud running backs, plural, and you have a nice defense that needs a little bit more pieces to be a great defense, but we have a really good comparable defense. Why not? It's Ron's last year, probably. Go out with the bang, Ron. Don't try and salvage the season now. You've had 3 years of your career now. You've had 3 years to do it with multiple quarterbacks. You didn't get it done. Your last hurrah. Go out with the guy you brought in because, like you said before this, I'll get to you, you don't want Ron, and a lot of people don't want Ron to pick a quarterback. So if you pick this one, ride on out the sunset with the one you picked and see what happens and go from there. Why not?
I think Nathan, I think I deserve an award for biting my tongue because I wanted to jump in like 112 times.
You got to give him his time.
But I gave him his time.
Not?
So give me an award. I'll give you 100 reasons of why.
We went the veteran quarterback route. Obviously, doesn't work. I mean,
it doesn't mean it's not going to work again.
Yeah, but why do you keep want to trying the same thing over and over again?
Because we're better than Sam Howell.
Well, what is the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results.
Bingo! Let's try something different. Why not? Sam Fran had a franchise quarterback, and they drafted a quarterback, and now they're Mr. Relevant is going to jump frog and leapfrog over both of them and be QB1 next year because of the weapons.
In Stoner's defense, there is the insanity plea in that regard would be rolling Taylor Heineke out, right? Because that's something you have done and tried, and it's not been successful. If you go with a different QB, that's not insanity. You're trying something new. It's a different QB.
You're right.
And there are plenty of QBs out there that we're going to end up talking about. You saw some of them in the graphic we had up going around that we're going to be talking about. We're going to do this 10 times, right? And so we have a top 10 list. Stoner, you seem like Sam Howell's not towards the top of your top 10 list. So why is that? Why do you not want to roll with Sam Howell as your QB1? I'm going to give those howls again because Trev's a howler.
Oh, and the last point, he's a Tar Heel. But go ahead.
Yeah. See, you just showing your bias.
I got a bias one too. My number's 14. He's wearing 14, so that's a win in my book.
Okay, I'll give you.
Stoner, where are you at?
First of all, I'll give you 143 reasons why you don't play Sam Howell.
We only got like 20 minutes on the show, so this better be quick.
143 players were selected before Sam Howell was selected.
They weren't all quarterbacks.
He was 144th pick. He was, I don't know what
picked before Brock Purdy.
He was like the 5th quarterback taken or whatever, and all those other quarterbacks, were not very good when they played this year. I mean, some of them already were like, well, we know he's not the guy already. Okay, yeah. So
Pickett's done well for himself out in Pittsburgh.
Who's that?
Pickett out in Pittsburgh. He's doing well.
Pickett's been fine, but he's a first rounder. I think he's
he was the only first rounder out of
right. So that's a little bit more expectations are there for him, right? Sam Howell may have been seen as a first rounder, but he wasn't selected as a first rounder. And it's not just Washington didn't select him as a first rounder. Every single team did not select him as a first rounder or a second rounder or a third rounder or a fourth rounder. He was finally selected with the first pick of the 5th round. Now, look, let me just kind of put it to you this way, okay? If I'm a fan, looking at it from a fan's perspective, I actually don't have much of a problem with throwing Sam Howell out there and seeing what happens, okay? But from an organizational standpoint, there is no chance that Ron Rivera, who is coaching for his life, is going to have the attitude of, let me just throw this kid out there who couldn't even beat out 2 less than mediocre quarterbacks for an entire season. Mm-hmm. He couldn't do it. Right? And then let's see what happens. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to blow everything up and start all over and draft a quarterback with new coaches and everything. As an organization, as a coach, that's not how I think. I'm coaching for my job, for my future, for my
and
life.
You're playing to win. Everyone's playing to win. You're not tanking deliberately, right. Especially as you mentioned, Ron Rivera on the hot seat. Yeah,
right. When he's on a hot seat, he's not going to do it. So from that aspect, he's not going to be quarterback 1. He had 11 completions against Dallas. Okay. And here's the stat that I wanted to bring up. I don't usually like stats unless, of course, they bolster my argument. Then I love stats. Okay. Carson Wentz. Okay. First, hear this so that you have context.
Sure.
Carson Wentz's EPA, expected points added. Okay. In week 1 against Jacksonville in the game that they won, his EPA was 0.26, which is very high on the scale.
Yep.
Okay.
Of what? What's the scale?
EPA scale. Don't bother.
It's an EPA. It's just a metric.
EPA is even more convoluted than DVOA or
it's
QBR,
simple as it defines the
score.
value of the play by the effect it has on the likelihood to score. Okay.
Look, if you want to work for PFF, just say it, bro.
No, Sam Howell.
EPA can be a good stat. It's also very much still being worked as analytic based because it's a bit
Sam
wonky,
Howell's EPA
yes.
in that game, week 18, was 0.01, which is well below average. Okay. So yes, he made some good throws. I will totally admit that. But how is it that a couple of throws means that you should be the starting quarterback for a team? He had a couple. Okay? He had 11 completions, in which half of those were just average completions and half of those were really good. But as I'll always say, almost every quarterback in the history of the NFL who's ever touched a practice field can make those throws. Whether or not they do it is another thing. But they
can make those throws in their first game against a top 10 defense in the NFL.
Yes, he was pretty good. He wasn't great. Okay.
He definitely wasn't great.
Whole thing that he should be anointed the quarterback in 2023. He should not be. Bring in a veteran, whoever that might be, compete for the job, and the veteran's going to win the job. He's going to win the job because Ron needs a veteran. He doesn't need some kid in there who's going to screw up his future, Ron's future. Okay, he's not going to do it. Trust me on that.
So tell me, Stoner, before we move off of you, and it looks like Trev has some things to say and response. Did you brought out the EPA, which is very unstoner like.
Very much
so. Are we saying he didn't pass the Stoner sniff test?
Actually, he did pass the Stoner sniff test in terms of looking like he belonged. In terms of turning my entire franchise and the future over to him, absolutely not. He did not pass that test. And the one argument that drives me the most crazy is that a lot of people say we don't want to bring in a veteran quarterback because we don't trust Ron and the staff to evaluate quarterbacks. But hello, they evaluated and brought in Sam Howell. So why is it that we don't want him evaluating another QB, but we're okay with the QB that he already evaluated? It's a double standard. It's either start all over and let somebody else choose the quarterback, or trust Ron to bring in another quarterback. But you can't have it both ways.
Trev's brought out the phone in his defense. What's the response, Trev?
Brock Purdy. I'm going back to him. You want to hear the number of completions he's had since he's been on this winning streak since his first start?
A lot.
You ready?
Yeah.
The first game, he completed 25 passes.
Yeah. Double.
The second game against Buccaneers, 16 passes.
All right.
The next game against Seattle, 17 passes.
Okay.
The next game against us, he completed 15 passes against us. The next game, 22. And week 18, 15. So
and how many
Sam Howell, 18 a day. Sam Howell, 11 completions, got the job done. Brock Purdy has proven you don't need to throw for 30 for 35 and 405,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. Just manage the game.
But you need to be able to have enough passes to evaluate what sort of quarterback he is.
Maybe
Brock Purdy, you've got 6 games now to evaluate.
Stoner.
Right? Sam has 11 completed passes to evaluate, and that's it.
25.
Well, that's not. But we can't fault
19
that.
pass attempts.
It's only because Taylor Heineke came in and went on this win streak because of his play, quote unquote, in the defense.
But that's where we are now, Trev.
If that didn't happen, then we maybe would have inserted Sam Howell. Maybe he would have taken us to the playoffs. You don't know. But for his first start against the Cowboys starting defense, Ron and them knew they had something to play for. He could have easily put Taylor Heineke in there to finish out the season. He could have. He could have.
All right, here's a question for you,
But he
Trev.
chose to go to Sam Howell to see what it would be like against in a game where there's something to play for. Like,
all right,
and
Trev,
he succeeded.
I want you to answer this question, but you have to answer it honestly.
Okay.
Okay. Would you trade straight up Sam Howell for Brock Purdy?
No.
Why not?
It's the same.
It's the same better than
because he's had it. It's different, bro. Their starting quarterback went down. He was next up. It's not like he had somebody before him to play and then he came on.
Let's not forget Brock Purdy was a third string quarterback.
Yeah, because Trey Lance went down. But then you had Jimmy G and then him. But for us,
not the same, Stoner. You know what? It's not the same.
What's not the same?
Kyle Shanahan.
Thank you.
Is not the same.
So
I'm
you're
not
saying
taking.
that Brock Purdy is nothing without Sam Fran.
Oh God, I watched him a lot in Iowa State. I'm telling you right now, Kyle Shanahan, the play caller, is much further along in what they can do.
Yeah.
We've all known Shanahan systems are running back friendly, right? They are also very QB friendly. Brock Purdy is the Trent Dilfer of QBs. Okay. Has he had an exciting run? Has he won a playoff game? Yes. I don't like pointing to Brock Purdy in an argument when it comes to Sam Howell.
Okay? I do, just because of the draft positions.
A lot of people are in that same boat, Trev, because people are like, he's Mr. Irrelevant. He's a 7th rounder and he's doing well. You're saying Sam Howell can't. Well, Stoner, you just pointed out, Malik Willis is looking like he might not be in the NFL. And that was a QB a lot of people wanted here in Washington.
Here,
right?
In this little three group.
And Desmond Ridder was another one where people wanted him. Didn't look all that great out down there in Atlanta. And so you don't tell me, I don't care. And this is kind of Washington's stance on this as well, right? It's not where you draft somebody, it's who you draft. And in this case, Brock Purdy, they drafted him in San Francisco, and you have Kyle Shanahan, who is mitigating, like Trev pointed out, his ability to impact the game. They're giving him easy stuff to do and relying on everything else to win. Why can't they do that with Sam Howell here? Well, maybe with Scott Turner not in the picture
why?
Now.
You've just answered your own question, Nathan. You know why? Because Kyle Shanahan's not here.
No, it's because we don't have an offensive coordinator that can work with. Like, this is the very first time in Ron's tenure, he is like, it's been at least reported that he's actually telling people, "Hey, I have this quarterback or this target quarterback. Can you work with them?" Now he's reaching out to the offensive coordinator saying, "Hey, this could possibly be QB1. Can you work with him? Can you develop him?" You didn't hear that in the beginning years of the tenure here. So that's why I kind of agree. It depends on the system. Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant. But Kyle Shanahan saw him. I can work with him. Even though they did draft up and get Trey Lance, even though they had a franchise quarterback in Jimmy G, if they didn't want Brock Purdy, didn't trust him, they would have went out and signed somebody off the street to take place of Jimmy G. But what they do, Kyle Shanahan trusted his draft pick and inserted him in there, and now look at him. They've won 11 straight games, bro.
The OC should never be given a directive of, you've got to develop this quarterback. The OC should come in and say, I'm going to bring the quarterback that best fits my system.
No,
that's how we're going to be.
You got a little bit far there. You went a little bit far there.
That's
the offensive coordinator
got this job.
Offensive coordinator does need to evaluate the QB situation. And one thing is certain here, and at least in my opinion, and I have all 10 of our lists, or all 3 of our lists. I've ranked Sam Howell the highest.
Oh,
I'm not giving him the QB1 position. I don't think Ron Rivera is giving him the QB1 position either. They're absolutely going to bring in competition. Sam Howell, though, has earned that I don't want to say right, but he's earned the chance, the opportunity to be in a QB1 battle. I, for one, disagree with Stoner. I think a lot of these QBs that are out there, Sam Howell can and probably should beat in a QB1 battle. I agree with you, Stoner. Ron is not somebody who's going to, we should not be expecting Ron Rivera to draft a QB in the first round.
Ever.
It's just not what he's going to do. He can't put his eggs into that basket. It's not going to save him time. Not with a QB, not with a sale on the horizon. It's not going to save him, right? So what's going to save him is winning games. And what's the best chance to do that? Is it going to be Sam Howell? Stoner, you seem to think no. Trev seems to think it can be an opportunity. And honestly, I think it's what's best for this franchise. Starting Sam Howell as QB1 going into 2023 is what's going to be best for this franchise. And the reason why I think that is because if you hit on him, if he becomes, anything, a modicum, like a 10th, a 15th% of Tom Brady, who was picked in the 6th, then you're great. If he becomes Tony Romo, who was undrafted, if he becomes Dak Prescott, who was picked in the 4th round, Kirk Cousins, who was picked in the 4th round, if he becomes just even similar to those, then you are going to be a successful franchise running the football and playing solid defense.
Yep.
Okay.
If
he bombs, if he ends up winning your QB1 battle and fails to, raise himself to that standards, you're in line for 2024.
Bingo.
You're talking from a fan standpoint.
Hold on. No, I'm talking from a franchise standpoint. This is what's going to be best for this franchise. Ron Rivera is out here to play and win games. His teammates, Sam Howell's teammates, are out here to win and play games. Not a single one of them wants to waste Terry McLaurin's prime. Not a single one of them wants to waste Jonathan Allen's prime. Mm-hmm. And I don't think Sam Howell is going to be wasting either one of their primes. I think that he can, and we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of unknown here. Out of all the names we have 15 QBs out of the 3 lists, and out of all of them, he definitely has the biggest question mark about him.
Yes.
But as a franchise, this is what I feel is best. And yes, you can say I'm coming from a fan standpoint. Ron Rivera trusts his captains, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a reason why Sam Howell started the entirety of the game. Is he was going to go with Heineke and then go to Sam Howell in like the 4th quarter or something like this.
Yep.
The captains came to him. Heineke came to him and was just like, no, just give him the start. He listens to them. And one of the things we've seen with this locker room is they support each other. I guarantee you they'll support Sam Howell and the way that they supported Heineke a little bit more than they supported Carson Wentz, who was the new QB coming in. Whichever QB comes in has to be straight up the most charismatic QB out there to win over the locker room right away, to beat out the guy that they've been eating chicken tenders with for the last year.
Not steak.
This man's insane. And this man's insane.
You're kidding me right now.
You're both insane. There is no way Ron Rivera is going to stake his future on Sam Howell.
Why couldn't he? Maybe that's what he needs to do. Maybe that's the missing piece of why he's failing right now, is because he wants to go and grab everybody who's old and recycled and try to bring him here for some, coaches included. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe why don't you just go ahead and promote within house? If you didn't want the man, first of all, he came out and saying they were already looking at Sam Howell in the draft anyway. And when they found him at the first pick of the 5th round, they were like, oh, he's here already? We'll take him now. So they've already had their eyes on him before the draft.
If they had drafted Desmond Ridder, they'd have said the same thing.
No.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Well, maybe.
Or they're going to say,
absolutely.
We never looked at Desmond Ridder at all, and he was there.
But you heard Sam Howell though a lot. Like, you didn't hear Desmond Ridder to Washington as a possibility, like here and there, but you heard Sam was, and he lucked up on him and got him. Why wouldn't he just, like Nathan said, trust his captains and trust himself and go with Sam Howell? It's his last year of his contract, on his way out, probably because the new regime's coming in, right out in the sunset.
I don't necessarily agree with that, Trev, but
I do. Because these free agent quarterbacks are going to cost money, bro, and we don't have the money to spend, and we need to re-sign Deron Payne or franchise, and then
and this isn't Stoner's defense here. if you think that your job's on the line, if you think you don't have a future, then why not mortgage that future to potentially do something now, which maybe we'll get to and we'll see when we talk about some of these other QBs. But that's not the point of this. This is Stoner. You brought up Sam Howell not beating out Taylor Heineke or Carson Wentz.
That's correct.
That's not correct.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. One, we know Ron is reluctant to go to a young QB. Okay. Two, he literally traded and wanted Carson Wentz to succeed here so much that he was just waiting for any excuse whatsoever to put him back in the lineup, even though Taylor Heineke, honestly, in that San Francisco game, wasn't playing nearly as bad as he had been playing during some of that winning streak. But he did play bad enough to throw an interception and have a fumble. And so that was Ron stealing. Okay. Right. We're pulling him out. We've lost. We're 0-2-1 in the last 3 games, and he's got two turnovers. We're going back to Carson Wentz, who literally we could see was not the guy. He was forced into playing Taylor Heineke last year after Ryan Fitzpatrick went down, and this year when Carson Wentz went down. And this is a guy that he was looking for any excuse during a 6-game winning streak, any excuse to pull him, and finally found it after their season started going downhill faster than they can recover.
So what you're saying is, if I may summarize, what you're saying is that he doesn't have, as Trev, I believe, just whispered, a good track record in dealing with quarterbacks.
Thank you. That's my point.
Why do you trust him with Sam Howell?
Because he's young.
We're not. Hold on, Trev, because I got a great response to this, and that's because we're not trusting him with Sam Howell. If you recall, Ron Rivera said that this guy's not ready. If you recall, he had him on QB3 the entire season, and that's why I don't trust him. He can't evaluate quarterbacks. This could be the next Joe Montana sitting on our bench because Ron Rivera can't get his head out of his rear. That's why, Stoner. He is not good at evaluating QBs. Now, I'm not saying that Sam Howell is going to turn into these great Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but I'm not trusting the guy who literally is so desperate to keep his job that he's going to go with the vet, regardless of what the situation might entail, to include a meaningless Week 18 game where he was going to go with the veteran because that's his MO, to tell me that this young quarterback isn't it, because I don't trust his opinion on that. I think that his opinion is Ron centric. What is best for Ron Rivera? And in that case, he's going to go against a rookie 5th round pick. And by all means, he had every right to have that decision. Going into year 2 for Sam Howell, though,
he's going to change all that.
I'm not saying he's going to change all of it, but now Sam Howell is more experienced. And if he has that locker room and he's showing the things that you yourself said he showed during the Dallas game, if he continues to have poise, if he continues to look like he belongs, if he continues to sling the ball the way he did, I don't care. And you know, I'm a big stats guy. I love the analytics and all that. I don't care if he showed up being mediocre. This is the same coach who trotted out Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick. He does not care about the analytics. He is a Stoner sniff test, and he's going to go with his team. He's going to go with this team on this. And if Sam Howell is throwing 60-yard bombs to Terry McLaurin, and you got happy wide receivers and happy locker room, he's going to go with Sam Howell.
Okay, I mean, I totally disagree with everything that you just said, but I am going to clip up that piece where you said Sam Howell may be the next Joe Montana. I'm totally clipping that.
I did not say he was going to be the next Joe Montana.
To piggyback on what Nathan said, here's Ron's problem. Cam Newton. He's stuck on Cam Newton and what he did to Carolina to the Super Bowl run. Well, guess what, Ron? Newsflash. The game has changed. They don't make quarterbacks like that much anymore. If they do, it's just Josh Allen. And
Josh Allen,
maybe a Justin Herbert, maybe. But other than that, outside of Cam Newton, he has not been successful with quarterbacks. He can't out-evaluate. He can't. So now that's why he's reaching out.
Quarterback he drafted.
Yeah. So which is probably the reason why he's like, yo, can you work with Sam Howell? Because I don't know what I'm doing. I can't develop a quarterback really. Scott Turner really can't either. Yeah, he's not offensive coach. So why not just roll with what you you drafted him, so just roll with him.
You evaluated him. Ron Rivera evaluated him.
But he's young. But here's the difference. He's young enough. Ryan Fitzpatrick has been the backup quarterback for 3,000 years, and you bring him here to be a starter all of a sudden? No wonder he broke his hip and got hurt. He doesn't take starter reps ever. Okay? And 2, you bring in, who was it? Taylor Heineke, because people get hurt. You got him off the couch because he's a good kid and he has moxie. That's why you brought him in. So I'm tired. Yeah.
Strays out here.
So just go ahead and ask the offensive coordinator, hey, do you think you can work with this guy? If maybe he can be quarterback 2. If our quarterback 1 goes down, you can develop him to be quarterback 1. So do it.
Yeah. And we're not anointing him. This isn't this isn't saying he is going to be. No. If he's QB1, no, we're saying if Washington goes in with Sam Howell's QB1,
we'll be fine.
I'm telling you right now, I'm giving a thumbs up. I'm surprised. Well, Trev, there, you need to change your thing. I have your list in hand.
Just where it doesn't say I'm not a fan of him, but where he's on the list is different. But if it happened to be that I'd be okay with it.
For the record, all the lists will be revealed as we go along here. Stoner has him squarely at number 5.
I got him
right there in the mid. He's not excited. He's not, maybe he's showing a lot of hate here. And I think that's mainly because of how Trev has been coming on as a howler. But Stoner, you're realistically, you're more kind of here about.
That's right. I have Sam Howell as number 5 on my QB1 wish list for the Washington Commanders next year, because that's just kind of where I am. There's plenty of better options and there's plenty of worse options, but I'm okay with him going into camp as competition, and I'm not anointing him as QB1.
That's kind of by default too, if you think about it. Taylor Heineke can get a bag, he gone probably, and Carson's gone too.
Yeah.
So
he's gonna be in the QB1 conversation come training camp because
it's not gonna be Sam Howell, Jake Fromm, and insert guy you've never heard of here.
Yeah, QB 3 who was drafted in the 6th round, or Kelly from
Cole Kelly
camp. Cole Kelly from
Cole Kelly.
Right?
Stud. Not gonna be that.
Cannon. Stud.
Right. And who was that guy before that? They had before that last year, the guy who looked like he was going to poop his pants when he was maybe going to go into a game.
Garrett Gilbert?
Last year? No, last year.
Actually played.
He was the 3rd stringer. Oh, I'm going to have to look him up.
I don't remember the name off the top of my head. Back to the list here. You're going to hear a lot of love coming from Trev for a lot of other quarterbacks, I feel, because Sam Howell ended up 8th on his list.
Yeah.
It means there's 7 QBs that Trev would want over Sam Howell.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 QBs I want over Sam Howell. Sam
wow.
Number 3 on my list.
Yep. Of all 15 of those guys, he's
all 15. He is number 3 on my list. There's only 2 QBs that I am certain would be a better deal for Washington, based off of everything that it takes. Right.
This is gonna be good.
There's QBs on these lists that you have to trade for. There's QBs on this list you're gonna have to pay lots of money for. And there's some QBs on this list that are just downright garbage. Mm-hmm. And I think Sam Howell is going to be a better fit for Washington. Anyways, that's my take.
I'm so surprised at your take, bro. I thought you were going to be like 9 or 10 on Sam. That's
because wild. He's insane. This guy, he's insane. That guy right there.
Could be. Let's see what you have to say about it in the comment section. Make sure you get down there. What's your QB wish list, and where does Sam Howell rank on that for you? We've got it across the board here, 3, 5, and 8. So lots of choices. It'll be interesting to see if he does win. Stoner, you want a friendly dollar that Sam Howell ends up as QB1
on what, game 1?
Yep, week 1 starter.
Week 1 starter, he will not be, but I want an injury caveat. Like if we bring in, a Ryan Fitzpatrick and he gets hurt in preseason or whatever. I just want an injury caveat. He's not going to win the job out of camp and be QB1 in week 1. I'll take that dollar.
All right. Trev, where you stand on this one?
Oh, he's winning camp and being QB1.
I love the energy coming from Trev, who put him 8th on his.
Yeah, because it all depends on the who he gets brought in to go with him now.
I can't wait till we're talking about some of these names over him, Trev. I really want. Yeah.
Instead of an injury one, I have who's going to come in with
7 other guys. If they're selected, then
no, you don't get that one.
No, you don't get it.
All right, I'm gonna put my Tario bias on the line, baby. That's right. And I don't care who come in there. He taking the crown.
All right. Let us know where you stand with Sam Howell. Howell, QB1 for Washington come 2023. I'm giving the thumbs up. Let us know where you stand there in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. And as always, until next time, be a fan. Hey, thanks for watching us here on Ref the District. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Check out one of these other videos here as well. We create lots of great content. Of course, we're live every Wednesday at 7:30. Things get pretty heated there as well. Until next time, be a fan.